Hey guys, my name is Marta, welcome to my channel and welcome to my September wrap-up. In September I read more books than I think I've done since the summer started, which is really great, and I am super excited to talk to you about all of them. So without further ado, let's get to this wrap-up. The first two books I'm going to be talking about are the two books I read to close off the summer, and they were two summer reads, the first one being To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. Actually wearing a Virginia Woolf inspired t-shirt because of how much I love this. This is one of Virginia Woolf's most well-known works, and in it we follow this family who go to this summer trip to the lighthouse. This book explores themes such as a female's role in a family, death and time being one of the most important topics that are touched upon in the novel, since, as you probably already know, Virginia Woolf was one of those writers that wrote in a stream of consciousness style, so we see how time expands through pages, through chapters, and the author depicts every single thought, every single thing that happens in the scene. The book is overall described as a painting. You can see every little detail that Virginia Woolf is describing, and those details mixed with Woolf's very poetic writing style make the book feel very tragic and sad in a way. It is overall a very wonderful read. It is beautiful, only writing style wise, but also content wise. There are fantastic sentences that make you think about life, about love, about women, and it's overall fantastic. I think this one, being my first Woolf, has made me appreciate it even more because I just jumped into it without knowing anything about the story, but the fact that it was set during the summer and that it was apparently beautifully written. So yeah, really liked it, gave it 5 stars, and cannot wait to read more Virginia Woolf. Next thing I read was another end of summer read, and it was Shakespeare's A Midsummer's Night Dream. This was actually my first Shakespeare comedy, and I really liked it. It's become now my newest obsession. I absolutely adored how funny and crazy this story was. If you don't know what it is about, it is a funny comedy love story that will make you laugh like you weren't expecting to, because this being very ancient, you honestly don't expect to be laughing out loud as much as you do. It is overall a play filled with craziness, with magic, and with amazing lines that make you think, because this book is basically all about dreams as well, and about what's real and what's not, and that makes the book even more special because once you close it, once you finish it, and once you reflect on what you read, you don't even know if what you read actually happened or if the characters were dreaming all the craziness that took place. So yeah, overall really liked it. I cannot wait to read more Shakespeare comedies, as I can say that I was very pleasantly surprised. Next I have the only thing I finished for the Rory Gilmore readathon, was The Art of War by Sun Tzu. This is a tiny philosophical text in which Sun Tzu gives the reader tips on how to succeed in a war, that you're supposed to be able to apply into your daily life, but I sadly didn't like it as much as people seem to do. I think it was because I read it during a readathon, and you aren't supposed to read it all at once in a day, but during a bigger time span to be able to fully get every single thing that he says and apply it to your life. I overall can say that it was a very simple, easy read, but I would honestly need to reread it in order to fully appreciate it. Next, I have to talk about a Spanish book that I read for one of my book clubs, and it was Panza de Burro. It's a book written from the point of view of a character that we don't know the name of during the entire novel. He describes her relationship with her best friend Isora, with whom he is very fascinated by. In the book we see these two girls who are very young, experience love, experience sexual attraction, experience very some ugly things that no little girl shouldn't experience for the first time. It is a very crazy, originally written novel that I overall really enjoyed. It had some beautiful passages, it had some beautiful quotes that really warmed my heart, and I was super happy to discuss it with some of my friends, and yeah, I gave it 3.5 stars and I am hoping to read more from the author in the future. Read Maurice by Ian Foster. This is a book written in the early 20th century, but it was published after the author died in the late 20th century. This book is a book that explores themes that were pretty badly seen in that time. This book explores the topic of male-male relationships. So in it we follow Maurice, who realizes he is homosexual. He starts falling in love with Clive, and we see how this relationship that starts with this some sort of fascination goes through some struggles to not in a very good way, but hopefully being saved by another character who shows up out of nowhere, to be honest. I have to say that I expected to like this book way more than I did. I did like it. I liked how it explored this very powerful theme that wasn't very touched upon in that time period, but I didn't really like how the author used this very simple language and these very plain lines to describe the story. I felt as if I was missing something from it, and it didn't let me enjoy the book as much as I wanted to. But overall, I have to say that the story is in fact beautiful. The character of Maurice is fascinating to follow. You get to really feel for him, especially in a moment where he really struggles with his life. He even contemplates suicide. Yeah, it was very emotional, very beautiful story-wise, but I sadly have to say that I was missing something from it. So I ended up giving it 4 stars, which means that I do recommend it, but I just don't think it was perfect for me. And last part of this video, we jump into my university reads, the first one being La Chanson de Colin. But this is a French medieval epic poem in which we follow the character of Colin, who was a soldier in the Battle of Roncepo. I don't know how that's said in English, I'm sorry. Overall, I have to say that this book and I had a pretty weird relationship. When I started it, I found it weirdly funny. I could connect to it. I could connect to the writing style because it is translated to modern French, so I didn't have to read the ancient text. And I found some sentences very laughable. I think it was because the language used is very plain and it doesn't have much detail, so some scenes are not very touched upon and they can make you laugh, but still I don't understand why I felt that way. But however, when I was nearly ending it, I felt way more connected to it. I was even emotional at some scenes, which was great. I also have to say that this book is pretty plain language-wise. It doesn't really touch upon the characters, the personalities, and they don't really develop throughout the story, but that was common in this time period, so I do not have to complain about it. The book itself was nice. It was easily readable, and I think I do recommend it if you like reading epic poems. I do really recommend you read it if you like the Iliad, because there are some parallels to the Iliad that were really great to see, having read the Iliad earlier in the year. I must also say that this book is very violent in some moments, like there are horses that get cut in half. The book is also pretty violent, really like, so I think that if you don't like bloody things, you won't like it. In this book, some soldiers cut horses in half, cut people in half, and they move on with life as if nothing. I also really enjoy all the symbolism in this book. I don't think I mentioned it. Book especially relating to Charlemagne's dreams and the things he sees that are predictions of what's going to happen in or what has happened. It is overall a nice read. I think I recommend it if you like epic poems, as I've already said. So yeah, read it if you want to. Next thing I read for uni was Pygmalion by Bernard Shaw. This is a play that I have been meaning to read for the longest time. It is a retelling of the story of Pygmalion, and it is a realist play. In it we follow this man who is a phonetician who tries to turn Eliza, who is a very poor girl who wants to sell flowers, into the perfect English speaker. And he tries to change her pronunciation, her way of acting, and overall tries to convert her into an entire different person. It is a play that it is very weirdly funny in some moments. It has some craziness going on, it has some really funny scenes, but overall I think the most important part of the play, the most important thing that it touches upon is female independence. In it, Liza makes her own decisions. She doesn't let any of the male characters guide her. He goes straight to Professor Higgins, who is the phonetician, to ask him to change her because he wants something that he is willing to get, and then at the very end he wants to be independent. We also see how that continues at the very end when he doesn't fall in love with him, as you would expect, this being a retelling of the story of Pygmalion. I really like it. I am really enjoying studying it because I think I really like enjoying plays, and yeah, I do recommend this one. I think this book is very worth reading. This is a very important play, one of the very first feminist ever performed. It is a very revolutionary story that I think anyone has to read. And the last thing I read was a play that I read for that class, but it was an optional read, and it was The Importance of Innerness by Oscar Wilde. I had always wanted to read some of Oscar Wilde's plays, so when the teacher recommended us reading this one, I of course had to. This book is a crazy wild ride of characters hiding themselves under secret identities and of people not being who they say they are. This is a play full of wit, full of funny scenes, full of craziness, and it will for sure make you laugh. Also, this book, besides being this funny, crazy story, hides some secret critiques towards society, as most comedies do. You see how Oscar Wilde criticizes these bourgeois people who only care about money, about looks. This play is absolutely fantastic. It's very easy to read. I think you can read it in only a few minutes. I think I read it in less than an hour, and I really enjoy it. I am looking forward to reading more of Oscar Wilde's plays in the future. They really remind me of French 19th century comedies, which I really enjoyed reading some of last year. So yeah, really like it, love Oscar Wilde, love his wittiness, and I can't wait to read more from him, because before reading this play, I think I had only read Portrait of Dorian Gray, which I am looking forward to rereading soon as well. But yeah, really like it, love Oscar Wilde, and I of course recommend it. So that was all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and comment down below if you've read any of these books and what are your thoughts on them. Also comment down below what you read in September and what was your favorite read of the month. And I hope you guys gone amazing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!